About 1965, I had been working back east, grub staking in the factories and the auto plants and all these kind of places. And I made a bunch of money and I saved it. And I was heading back to school at NMSU for one more try at going to college. And so I was crossing, well, the Texas Panhandle, among other places. And I had this old Plymouth, and it was kind of defective and kind of rusty. It did run like a bat out of hell, but wasn't much to look at. And one of the problems with this car is that where the steering column went into the floorboards and then connected with the worm gear and the steering assemblies of the car, there was this big rubber like bagel or donut that was a gasket that prevented water from getting into the cab of the car while you were driving it in the rain. And that thing had rotted out pretty badly. And I was young and I was in a hurry, and I was hydroplaning that car through places where the road had some flooding on it in between the little hills. And every time I drove the car through some water, a jet of cold water would shoot up from where that, from the floorboard, from the base of the steering column, and it would hit me, where. And I was wearing a pair of white jeans. So I was putting up with all this. And I pulled into a town called McLean, Texas. I pulled up to the gas station, and the guy came out. They had attendants then. And I said, fill her up with regular, sir. And I noticed something, and I noticed there was they call it premium or whatever now. Back then they called it ethyl. And there was an ethyl pump and two regular pumps. And I said, well, how come there's two regular pumps? One's 28.9 and the other's 32.9. That's how long ago this story took place. And he says, well, with the more expensive one, you get green stamps. All right, I'll tell you what green stamps were in case you don't know. They used to have these little books of stamps that they gave out whenever you bought anything. And S&H had green stamps, somebody else had gold bond stamps, and you had a little newsprint book. And you took your stamps and you moistened them and you filled pages. And after you filled up a page, a booklet of stamps, then you could save up those booklets and you could redeem them for something. It's kind of a nice little program. And so the guy said, well, the pump that's 32, you get green stamps. The one that's 28, you don't. And then I said, well, sir, could I use your restroom? And he goes like this. And I think I told you where the water was going, right? And he goes like this. Son, it don't look like you need one anymore. So I killed the son of a bitch. Whack, whack.